Welcome to Catrice Roots Productions interviews, and today we are here with JaChamp. He's a recording artist and just all-around entertainer, and we're just going to be talking to him today about his album Zero. Welcome, JaChamp. Woo! Let me do the little hand claps and stuff like that. Yo, but how have you been?
I've been great. I've been fine. I've been doing well since my album dropped, even before my album dropped. Throughout everything, the process of making the album, I've been doing fine. I have
Awesome.
no complaints, no regrets on how everything went.
That's good, man. I know a lot of people may want to know like just the basics of like where are you from? Because I know a lot of people on this channel wants to get to know you. So where are you from?
So I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. Yes, the dirty South, baby. That's where I'm from. But I've been all over the place, actually. I've lived in Texas for 4 years after Hurricane Katrina. Then I lived in Monroe, Louisiana. That's Northeast Louisiana. And then after I finished there, I went to Monroe for high school. And then after I finished there in high school, I moved back down to New Orleans to go to college to pursue my career in business management and music business.
Yo, that's cool. I know you've been like to different lived in different parts throughout the South and stuff like that. I just always thought you were based in like New Orleans and then like moved up north just recently. Oh man, but that's cool. So you got like a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of variety throughout, you're growing up and stuff like that. That's really good. So what is it like living in New Orleans? And how has that influenced your music, like just New Orleans? How has it influenced your music style?
New Orleans has influenced my music style very, very much. It is the core base of my sound, for as the chords that I play, the instruments that I play, everything, the beats, my rhythms, all of that. Um, Especially, I want to say, not necessarily bounce, because that's one genre of music that New Orleans is known for. When I do my party beats and stuff like that, I strictly like go to bounce beats. Like when I want to, get my crowd entertained and turned up and stuff like that, I'm making me a bounce beat. Like
Mm-hmm.
the song that's on my album called New Orleans bounce, but I got a little bit of West Coast, mixed up in there, because I also, even being from New Orleans, I always like West Coast beats. But being from New Orleans, the culture down there, it has a big influence on my music talents. And actually, my dad, he actually was a DJ
Mm.
in the my dad was a DJ in the 90s. He was popping, his name was DJ W. And so all of the skills that he had, the charisma that he had, the rhymes and bars and stuff that he had, that's all instilled into me. So yeah, New Orleans is my homegrown city. And yes, it plays a lot into my sound, the way how I carry myself as an artist and everything like that. Um, I'd say, who are some of my biggest artists from New Orleans who actually like influenced me? My favorite artist from New Orleans, to be honest, and people will be surprised
Mm-hmm.
by this when they hear my music, is Juvenile. Yeah, he's my favorite artist out of Cash Money.
I
But when people hear
mean,
my music, he like, yo, he don't make nothing like how Juvenile make, like, but nah, Juvenile, his whole entire, mannerism, how he carries himself as an artist, his flow, his style, his attitude, he plays a lot into, the way how I do my things as well. I learned a lot from him. And as a kid growing up, I always liked to listen to him.
right. I mean, I bet you like, I guess like growing up, like he was probably like the hottest thing out there during like the late 90s, early 2000s. That was like the sound of our childhood,
Mhm.
Juvenile, you know what I'm saying? And for you to be like from New
Yeah,
Orleans where he's at and just seeing all that, man.
yeah, it was amazing to live through that era and see, people from our city winning at that time in the
Hmm.
90s, when it really wasn't, a safe place or a good place to be and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my roots.
Dang, man. I mean, I know it must be dope to just like to be able to come from a whole city of like talent and stuff, and not just a whole city of, but like generations of talent. Because New Orleans known for its beginnings in jazz music, blues music, even hip hop and all of that.
Right, right. Louis Armstrong Park, Congo Squares. That's
Hmm.
where the slaves used to get away, congregate, and they turned that into, Congo Squares whenever they, had their time to, get away from the plantation and stuff like that. That's where they went, Congo Squares.
I swear, I need to go and check that out now because I never forget one day we were talking about that, and I'm like, I've never even heard of that before. Never even been taught that.
Mhm. I'll tell you this story. One time I was out in Congo Square one time, and this is just how natural I am. I was already producing at this time. I believe this was 20, yeah, this was 2012. I was out on a date, and we
Hmm.
had went to Congo Square, and I didn't know at this particular time that they was having an event there, but they had this guy. I don't remember his name or whatever, but they was having a event, and they played the Congos on Sunday afternoons, and me and my date, we went over there, and they invited us to play the Congos with everybody, and so I believe it was her and I and like two other African American couples that was there, and everybody else was of different ethnicity, mixed up with Caucasian, Asians, Mexicans, and literally when he told us to start beating on the congos and stuff like that, a lot of people was off rhythm, and I was sitting to all the way to the left of the circle where we was at, but I was at the like I said, I was at the beginning of it though.
Hmm.
Like I was in the front for a reason. And the teacher, when he was telling everybody to beat on the Congos, he told everybody, look at him. See how he's beating on the Congos? I want everybody to follow him.
Mm.
So it's like, I always had like, I guess that's another testament to me, being who I am and always having that leader trait, because just something simple like that, just being on rhythm, having those roots instilled in me, planted in me, that just made a teacher know, like, hey, this guy knows what he's doing. I want everybody who's here in Congo Square to follow what he's doing so they can get on beat, because this guy right here is on beat while everybody else is not.
Right.
And
Like,
so everybody started following me. So
hmm.
everybody started following me, and everybody got on beat.
Dang. I mean, I feel like a lot of like people, like musicians that are like well played musicians have like those type of stories that really kind of like gave them reassurance, like, yeah, like you're real, like you know what you're doing when it comes to music and stuff, and I feel like that's like definitely like your beginner story as a musician doing that.
I appreciate that. To piggyback off what you said earlier when I was explaining to you, where I've been, where
Mm-hmm.
I've stayed and stuff like that, saying it's like, while I got, all type of different feels and energies and what can I say, culture instilled
Mm-hmm.
within me from being in different areas of the South. Also, Texas plays a big part in my music as well, because Texas is where I actually found my gift, or not really found my gift. I've been knew I had it, but Texas is where I recognized and realized that, yo, I really have something.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell a story all the time whenever somebody asks me what made me want to start rapping and stuff like that. Um, it was 10th grade year. I believe it was 2007, 2008, or my 2008, 2009 year. It was my sophomore year of high school.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my friend Xavier, we was in 10th grade English. But this was like the higher up English class that we was in for 10th grades.
Mm-hmm.
So our teacher, she had us doing like a whole lot of elementary stuff. Her name was Miss Capazzoli. And we called her Miss Cap. Like she was the cap before the cap, before people started saying no cap.
Dang.
So um yeah, she always had us like reading books. We used to cut and paste, watch movies and stuff like that while we're in like the 10th grade. Like we really were supposed to be learning doing elementary stuff. So the class was pretty much boring to us. So how some people are, like, I'm the type of person, I used to be a class clown, but in certain classes, like being a class clown, you know what class you can act up in and you know what classes you can't act up in.
Mm-hmm.
But this particular class, me and my friend Xavier, we knew that we could cut up in this class and we'll get kicked out like almost every single day. So what we used to do how it started, we used to get bored and we did freestyles of songs that was popping at that time in that and during that year or whatever. And so what was the song? We had about we had 3 to 5 songs that we had remixed, but the 2 I remember was Chopped and Screwed by T-Pain, and we called it Squished and Chewed, like Patrick Star and SpongeBob. Like we say, you've officially been squished and chewed, chewed, squish, squished and chewed. But we was making fun of SpongeBob and Patrick at the time. So the big one that made me realize that I had a gift. Do you remember the song called Ice Cream Paint Job?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
by Dero.
Clean on the inside, cream
so you know how
on the something like that. Cream on the inside, clean on the outside.
Right,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you say clean on the inside, clean on the outside or something. Yeah, you know how it went.
Yeah.
So one day it was just quiet in class and like we all was already acting a fool in class, but then it just had got quiet for 1 second. And me and my partner Xavier, we were just sitting next to each other. And he just started beating on the desk. He started making the beat. You know how it came on like
yeah.
It just started off with the hi-hats. So he started beating on the desk like that. And then when the beat dropped, I just started freestyling. When I rapped that freestyle, when I did just that little part, my whole entire classroom went crazy. Like everybody went crazy. It was like, yo, did he really just say that shit that just came out of his mouth? And I'm like, yeah, I just did that. Because in high school, I wasn't the most popular kid and I wasn't like a lame or a nerdy kid. Right. I was just the kid that was in between. I didn't identify with this group. I didn't identify with that group. I was in the median. I'm cool with everybody. I'm not trying to be in the in crowd or anything like that. And when you move like that in certain, areas or in high school or whatever, people tend to look at you a certain way because, sometimes people try to outcast you and stuff like that. So certain things that you do, they really not going to think, they're not going to hold you to a high standard or a high self-esteem or whatever.
Right. I was the same way in high school. It's like you would do certain things or say something and people like, oh man, she really did. You know what I'm saying? Because they'd be like, oh, like they don't be looking for it. You know what I'm saying? For you to be like talented in certain areas.
Yeah. So when I did that and the class went crazy, like they went crazy. They was like, dang, he really did that. So people was asking me to freestyle it at the lunch table. Like, yo, do that stuff that you had did yesterday in class and stuff like that. And shoot, I just was freestyling at the lunch table. Me and Xavier be sitting at the lunch table freestyling it. Everybody be, jamming, nodding their head and stuff like that. And that was it. When I realized that I had that gift, I was like, yo, I really got something.
Man. Oh man, that's an interesting start to like your rap style though. Like y'all were pretty much doing parodies, and during that time period, parodies was like very popular, like doing music parodies and stuff. Man, y'all should have had like a YouTube channel or something. Y'all would have blew up.
Yeah, we looking back at it now, we most definitely would have blew up, but we didn't have the equipment to do it. That's the only thing that we lacked. We had the talent, but we didn't have the equipment.
Right.
And the people to put us in place. But still at the same time, our mindset, we really wasn't even on. We thought about doing it, but like I said, we didn't have the equipment, so we just let it ride.
Yeah, I just did it for the fun of it and the love of it too, though.
We just started doing it. We just did it for the fun, just because we two goofy dudes, like in class, like chilling, just having fun. We brothers. And me and him, we still cool to this day.
Oh man, that's what's up.
Yeah, that's where I really like notice. Like I always used to do, like I used to write and stuff like that even when I was in middle school. One of my partners, he said when I started freestyling in middle school, I made him want to freestyle. His name Deontay. And yeah, in 8th grade, that's how me and him got cool off the football. Me and him was on the football team. And yeah, he said, yeah, bro, I remember back when you used to freestyle in the 8th grade, like you the reason that made me want to start rapping and stuff like that. And then in high school, it just took off. To fast forward to me producing, when my mom's lease was up in Texas, it was time for us to move back to New Orleans. And I wasn't ready to move back to New Orleans at that time in my life because I knew that things wasn't 100%, that New Orleans wasn't 100% back from Hurricane Katrina. And I didn't want to live in the city at that time while, things were still rough. And me and my pops, we always talked about me, going move with him for my 4 years of high school. But my first 2 years never happened. The first 2 years of my high school career never happened. So I ended up staying with him my junior and my senior year. So my dad, he had the studio, and we always talked about, me going stay with him my high school year. So it was just a win-win situation for me. He introduced me to the program that I use. It's called Reasons, the digital audio workstation. That's the
Reasons is really good.
That's the proper term, the DAW, digital audio workstation, Reasons. He introduced me to that, and then from there, I just took off. He showed me a few things. He showed me how to do my ones, my twos and fours with the claps and making it sure everything is on time and stuff like that. And just from there, what he showed me, and then on my own, figuring things out on my own, that's how I started producing.
Man, but that's dope that you have like parents that really wanted to motivate you with your music too. Cause there's a lot of parents out there where it's like they may not have enough money or they don't really want to invest in their child like that. But like for your parents to really invest in you like that, that's dope for you to like have parents like that that really want to, that's first of all involved in music and want to teach you music and like carry it on, throughout the family and stuff.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm very glad and I'm very thankful and blessed that I have my mom and my dad in my life. That's something that a lot of us do not have in this world. Some people don't have their mom or their dad to, push them or raise them in a certain type of way to, hey, don't go this route, stay on track over here,
Right.
So shout out to my parents. They're the real MVP in my life right now.
I just want to know, why did you like go into the album, which everybody check out the album. Let me see if I can get that right there. But I just want to know, why did you name the album Zero?
So originally the title of the album was going to be called Soul Healer Zero. I came up with that title along with my first two albums before my first album was even released. I had my first album titled It's All Good, and my second album was titled Venting, and then this album, it was titled like I said, Soul Healer Zero. And I already created the artworks for each album before my first one even dropped. So I was already planning, laying down the groundwork, building years ahead of time before these tracks and sounds and all that got dropped. Back in, what I want to say, it was 2020, I dropped the EP for this project, and it was titled Soul Healer Zero. And I was going to release it again as Soul Healer Zero for, the full album with the 3 tracks that I dropped on the EP on SoundCloud. But as I was, explaining it to people through other interviews and lives and stuff that I was doing, as I was saying Soul Healer Zero, to me, it was coming off as it was too complicated to, just like keep on saying, hey, Soul Healer Zero, he dropped the album Soul Healer Zero and stuff like that. And I was just like, when it was coming closer to it being finished, I was like, I really want to just have the title just like short, simple, straight to the point. I was like, I'm going to just title it Zero energy running out. meaning no matter what you're going through in life, no matter how hard you hit, no matter how hard you get hit in life, no matter what obstacles you're going through, no matter how depressed you get, don't let your energy run out. Just keep on going. Don't stop. Because when you stop, that's the day that you lose. I feel like that's the day that you die, not physically, but mentally and spiritually, is when you give up that day that you say, I don't want to do this no more. That's when I feel that, it's just over for you whenever you make that decision. And people are going to be stuck in whatever they're in because they chose to stop pursuing whatever that they wanted to pursue that was going to eventually get them out of that hole that they was in. So that's where that's where zero comes from, zero energy running out.
And that's so true too. I feel like all of us have talents, and when you like give up on your talent or your dream, you just fall into that pit of emptiness with everybody else. You got to keep on going, man. That's deep, man.
You also have to have like a strong support system around you, whether it's even just one person that you can just talk to just to help you keep on going through whatever situation or obstacle that you're going through. They just gotta have that one person that'll, take you back down to earth and keep you level-headed to keep you going on your goals and process.
Definitely, man. One person can get you out of a lot mentally, when you're on the same mental level and spiritual level as somebody else, like y'all, and my dad always say iron sharpens iron,
And that's one thing that's preached in my favorite sport, boxing. Like, that's one sport that I like more than any other sport. Like, I always watched boxing before I got into football and basketball, but it's like, I don't know, boxing is like that gym that you overlook, but when you finally come back to it, no, I should say boxing, that song that you always skip, but then when you go back to it, you like, why did I skip this song? Like, why did I, like, this is this is really where it's at. This is the song right here. This is what I need. I need this. And that's the main thing that's preached in boxing, that, iron sharpen iron. You can't be like, a boxer just can't fight nobodies or somebody who's unskilled, who's not really talented, and get better. You're just going to beat up on that person all day. But if you fight somebody that can beat you, well, then you're going to get better because you know that this person is more skillful than you. So you're going to learn from that person. As an artist, I'm not afraid to have another artist to come on my song and actually rap better than me, or sing better than me, or do anything on my song better than me. I don't care what people are going to say, because I know at the end of the day, I'm going to learn from that artist. I'm going to learn from what they did. There's also been moments where I've had a feature artist, I have some feature artists on my songs, and I thought that their verse was better than mine, but then they came back and told me like, yo, your verse way better than mine. Like, I really mess with your verse. You had me up in there thinking like, I'm really trying to figure out how I'm about to top his verse, but I'm not trying to, shit on you on your own album, but it's hard for me to do it because your verse is so potent on what you're saying. It's hard to top.
Man, I tell you, but it's good when you got artists like that where like neither one of y'all have an ego problem, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just doing it for the love of music, and like you really appreciate an artist if they really go hard on a verse just as much as you're going hard on your verse, and y'all are just both in the zone. Like I think Quincy Jones years ago, like when they were making We Are the World, like I never forget, I was looking at a documentary and it said put your ego to the side before you enter in the studio, something like that. I'm just paraphrasing, but like as an artist, you gotta put your ego, like forget about your ego, just like get in the zone and have fun with that music.
Right, because if everybody have these egos, like you're not gonna go anywhere, because it's gonna be a constant battle on who has the biggest ego in the room.
Exactly.
When everybody, instead of just everybody just being level-headed and just being chill and just know that we're in here to get this project done. Like everybody in the room has something that they're good at. Do what you're good at and don't try to top the next person at what that person is good at.
Exactly. Like, I mean, like just seeing some artists being stuck in their ego, like we've talked about this in the past. I just can't stand it. Like I really can't stand it no more. That's why I made that song Ego, because I just wanted to come from
Mhm.
a place. I kind of wanted to come from a place of my ego just to like release some like annoyance of like seeing artists with it, like with big egos and artists not wanting to work with you because of their ego and stuff, talking about you gotta get your numbers up or talking about
Mhm.
this and that and the third. Like they care more about popularity and numbers than music itself. You know what I'm saying?
And that's sad. That's one thing that I've dealt with a lot, um, being in New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to work with other artists in New Orleans. Like people look at you, certain artists look at you like you're nothing
Mm-hmm.
because you don't have this accolade or you don't know this person or that person. And they see that your art is actually better than their art, but they will shut you down just because of their ego. They don't
Right.
want to get outshined. And at the end of the day, like we all come from the slums. We all come from nothing. We all had trials and tribulations to get us to that point. And it's like people forget where they came from. And really the accolades that a lot of them have really ain't nothing because they're just popping locally. They're not popping, nationwide or globally and stuff like that. And that's no hate. It's just speaking on what it really is. And
Right.
it's like, that's what makes my drive even harder going through the motions of my career and me with my talents, writing the way how I write, producing the way how I produce. That's making me come even harder so I can not knock on the door, but bust the fucking door down. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, okay, I see y'all moving a certain type of way. Y'all don't want to let me in because y'all know what I'll do when I get in. So it's like you're gonna try to dim my light, you're gonna dim my shine because you see what I'm capable of doing and you don't want to be in competition with that. And I'm not here for competition. I'm here to have fun and put food on the table for me and my family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me reverse that, for my family and I.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So
and you just want to
that's
make music. I mean, that's what you were put here to do, like we're musical people, like, so we gotta, eventually make a living off of it in our, own way and stuff, and just keep on moving forward and keep on staying like open-minded. Like I cannot stand being around like
mhm.
closed-minded, like narrow-minded artists and stuff like that, where they, like you said, where they just want to focus on local celebrity, but not really focusing on collaborating, networking with people outside of your state, or networking internationally, like going somewhere overseas and performing, all that type of stuff.
And that's the main thing. Like, look at Lil Wayne. Well, not Lil Wayne. Look at Lil Wayne.
Mm,
How he had his run full of features. If he didn't do that, he would not have all of the accolades that he have now. He didn't care that some of these artists that he was working with, wasn't known globally. Actually, him doing those features made them artists known globally
mm-hmm.
just because they did a feature with him.
Right.
So it's about all about just networking and being genuine because it's going to come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you try to block somebody out or shoot somebody else's talent down or however they moving down, and especially if it's positive, like you shooting them down, okay, you're going to reap what you sow in the end.
Exactly. How long did it take you to complete the album?
uh, some people would say I'm crazy, but the oldest song on this album, like a lot of these songs, I wouldn't say a lot of them. It's only like two songs on this album, on the final album, that I produced in 2015 before my first album even came out. Um, it's track one, Freed Energy,
Mm-hmm.
and track 12, WFM.
Mm-hmm.
So those songs, those two tracks, I produced those in 2015, but they still sound like, up to date 22-ish, 2020, between it still sounds modern. Or as the production sounds in the way how there was mixed and mastered, it still sounds up to date. So to be honest, I've been working technically on this album since 2015 before I even dropped my first album.
Dang, man. I mean, technically, right.
Technically.
I ain't gonna lie, like
technical.
You kind of inspired me, like with my beat tape part 2, which is out now. With doing the same thing, like going back and getting old beats from when I first started doing beats and putting it on beat tape part 2, along with beats that I just made as recent as like 2 weeks ago. And so like it came out to like 32 beats total, because I had so many unreleased beats throughout the years, like from 2015 all the way up to now, that has never been heard or anything like that. And I like literally got the idea from you, because I think I only had like maybe a total of 10 or 15 new beats from like late 2021 and on down to 2022. But after like thinking, I was like, I'm gonna go and get some older stuff that still sounds fairly decent and put on the beat tape. But and I really like that you did that with this album here. And I'm looking at the songs. I just want to know, what does each song mean, if you don't mind just giving us a quick rundown of each song.
All right, so here's a rundown of the whole entire track list, because it actually tells a story. I didn't finish answering the first question. Hold that question right there.
Oh yeah, you good.
So yeah, technically I started 2015 with the, with the 2 tracks that I already produced. But when I started like putting together some of the production of the album, like putting the beats and stuff together for the album, I want to say it was late spring, early summer 2017, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, it was late spring, early summer 2017, because 2 of the tracks on there, Be Honest and Stack It Up, those are 2 tracks that came from that production, came from that year of productions of the beats that I was looking at to put on the album. So yeah, originally, as artists, we always have like these dates and these deadlines that we have set the way we want to meet them. But, certain things outside of our, music career happens, which puts a delay to our music career. So that's why this album is, coming out later than expected. But, yeah. So when I started 2017 is when I started like gathering on like my beats and stuff like that for it. And actually in late 2017, I'll never forget this, December 2nd, I got into a car accident, which actually totaled my my minivan. And for like damn near the whole month of December of 2017, I couldn't use my arms. Like, one of my arms was in the cast and my other arm was in a sling. Dang. And one night I was just laying down in my bed back home in New Orleans, and I was using not this iPod, but another iPod that I have. It no longer works anymore. But I actually wrote the whole entire album within one night with all of the beat productions that I had on that iPod.
Wow.
But the way how I did it, since I couldn't properly use my arms and my fingers and stuff like that, I just clicked on the speech thing on my iPod and was just rapping the lyrics.
Dang, man.
For every song.
I don't know how you did that. Oh, man.
I don't remember them. I was just up one night and I just wrote all the lyrics to all of the songs.
Mm.
but something happened to that iPod, which made it like not charge anymore. So I could no longer, I didn't have my stuff backed up neither from that iPod. So all of like my notes and stuff that I had for those songs, all of them had got lost. But the crazy part about it is I was rapping those lyrics so much, like listening to those beats so much and rapping those lyrics so much when I, would listen to them in my car, going and drive to the store or going back and forth from work, running errands and stuff like that, that I remembered the core songs, the core lyrics to each song that I really liked, that I really, that really stuck with me. I remembered almost every word verbatim to each song. And so two of those songs is actually Be Honest and Stack It Up.
Stack It Up. Man, I love that song, Stack It Up.
So
That's
those
such a good song.
Yeah, it's motivational, man. You gotta go make your money, stack it up. Whoa. So now to circle back around to your question where you asked me what each song means, it actually tells a story within the track list itself. So if you read down the track, I believe from track, I have it as a storyline from track 1 to track 10 or 11. That's when like the storyline cuts off. Track 1, Freed Energy. When that song comes on, is no vocals at all. It's just melodic sounds, soothing sounds to the ear and stuff like that. And it's just a song that's full of energy. Like we just freeing all of the energy, not necessarily saying that the energy is running out, but you're freeing negative energy that's in your mind, in your body, in your soul, in your spirit, all of that. You're freeing anything that's negative, that's holding you back. You're just letting it go. That's why I call it freed energy. Track 2, Resurrector, it's pretty much, resurrected, that's somebody who resurrects something. So I'm resurrecting, the positive energy within me after freeing out all of the negative energy that was in me. So going on to, this is just like, I'm paraphrasing some of it right now. Later on in other interviews, I may dive in deeper to it, but I'm just going, like flowing with it right now. Track 3, Back in This Bit. So after I've been, after I've resurrected myself, replenished my energy, I'm back up. I'm back up to the people or to the world or the negative energies surrounding me. I'm back up. I'm back in it to where they thought where I was already down, but I'm still letting them know, like y'all thought that I was going, but nah, I'm still here. I'm back in here. I never left, but I'm back in here. So it's like nothing you can do can stop because I'm back like I never left. And that leads on to the next track, Get It Straight. Y'all better get it straight that I'm back in here and that I'm not going nowhere. So yeah, that's the storytelling that's going through the song. That's going through the track list of the album. So after y'all get it straight, I just want everybody to feel free, get lifted with me because I'm going to a higher spot. I'm going to a higher place in my life. I'm going to a higher algorithm in my life. I feel like nothing is going to stop me. There's no limit to where I can go. So I'm constantly going up. I'm constantly elevating myself. I'm constantly being lifted. That's growth. We're not, as human beings, we're not supposed to digress. We're supposed to continue to grow. We're supposed to learn every day. So every day I'm being lifted. I'm gaining knowledge. I'm being lifted. So the track that's right after Lifted, Stack It Up. So that goes along with me saying lifted. Hey, I'm stacking it up. Whatever it is, even though that the song is talking about money, you can stack up whatever it is that you need in your life that's going to help you progress to the next level where you want to go. And then I go on to the track 7, which is one of my favorite songs, but I think I'm using the correct term, double entendre.
Yeah,
so
double entendre.
What I do with what I use on my albums, I normally have the first half, it'll be like rap beats. Then the second half, it'll be R&B beats. And so, like I told you before in the interview, like boxing is my favorite sport. And so Two Piece, how I came up with that song, I was watching originally, this Two Piece on this album is the remix from Two Piece on Venting. But how I originally came up with Two Piece, I was watching this guy on the internet. He was fighting, right? And he dropped this dude. And after he dropped him, he said, I dropped shit. Two Piece, Mr. Two Piece. So that's how I came up with the hook from watching him, fight on the internet. And that's how I came up with Two Piece. But like I say, it's a double entendre because also Two Piece is the medium where the rapping ends and then the R&B track starts right after. So I'm in boxing, we call that a two-piece combination. So I'm coming with rapping trap beats, and I'm coming with R&B beats where I'm also rapping and singing on both. And like Two Piece is different. It's a song where I'm rapping on, but I'm not, I'm not really being like motivational in that song. I'm just rapping about sex, which leads on into the second half of the album. So that goes on to track 8, which is Straight Up. Like, yeah, I just did that. I just hit y'all with it. Our listeners just got hit with a two-piece combination. And you know how our generation, we always be like, man, keep it straight up. You got to keep it G. You got to keep it straight up. Like, yeah, even though the song was talking about sex, but the way how it's being explained through the track list, like, yeah, straight up, I just did that. Like, I really just did what y'all didn't think I did. Like, I just hit y'all with a two-piece combination. And this is something that leads on into the next track. Yes, indeed, baby. That's something that people from the South say, and a lot of people from New Orleans say as well. They be like, yes, indeed, baby. So that's a reiteration. Like, yeah, I really just did that. Like, it's a confirmation of something that just happened. Like, yes, indeed, baby. I can't believe that just happened. Like, that's how some, old folks said back in the day.
That's how they talk out here too. But just take off the baby part. It's just, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That is just cut off.
Yes, indeed. Oh, Lord Jesus. Yes, indeed. I can't believe it, child.
Man, I don't know why they talk like that.
It's just within our roots, yo. For real. It's just our culture. That's what
it's ebonics. It's the way we talk.
And we embrace it. I embrace it. I love it.
I know.
People may put whatever little stature, whatever status or whatever on it or whatever. Hey, that's our culture, and can't nobody take that away from us. It's not a bad thing at all.
Now, I like to say the word sugar. Like, my family always say sugar. So it's like, that's my thing. Like, yeah, we always say sugar. We don't say sugar or nothing. We're like, yeah, sugar. Yeah, that's how, or yay, sugar. Yay. That's how we talk out here.
Yeah. So yeah, that's like, did he really just do that? Yes, indeed, baby. I just did that. Even though the song, once again, is talking about sex, is reiterating what I just did from, it's still going along with the storyline with the track list of the title of the name titles of the song. Which leads into track 10 is Meant to Be. So once again, even though that particular song is talking about sex, it's the title of the song is saying that everything that I'm going through, the goals that I'm trying to reach, I'm going to reach them. Why? Because it's meant to be. Because I freed my energy. I resurrected myself. I'm back in here and like I never left. I told everybody to get it straight. That I'm lifted. I'm stacking it up. I'm hitting y'all with a two-piece combination. Straight up. Yes, indeed, baby. It's meant to be. And anybody who's not messing with me, you're blocked. Which leads to track 11. Anybody who's not messing with me, you're blocked. So that's where the storyline actually ends with my track list. Or you could keep it going to be like, WFM. That's a radio station. We playing my music on a radio station.
I mean, hey,
You are now tuned in to WFM.
because I was about to say, I was like, what is the meaning behind WFM?
Yeah, the meaning behind WFM. So majority of these tracks were not the original tracks that I wrote the lyrics for.
Mm-hmm.
There were beats that I was listening. There were type beats that I was listening to on YouTube, where I would, write to those beats,
Mm-hmm.
and I was supposed to buy the beats, but things happened to where I never bought the beats, and some of the producers was acting kind of weird, and I was just like, yo, how am I gonna, translate these? How am I gonna get these lyrics out? I would say, you know what, I'm gonna just, produce my own version of these songs, or I'm gonna just make a whole new beat to where it flows better from me to the track, from my artistry, from me writing the beat to me producing. I mean, from me writing the lyrics to me producing the beat, so it fits more of me and not anybody else's, style.
Right, right.
So I'd say the majority of some of these songs were written besides outside of Be Honest and Stack It Up.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of these songs was written like 2018 to 2019.
22. Okay.
Yeah, so the meaning behind it, I heard this beat, and like that's just what came to my mind when I first heard this instrumental on YouTube. Like I forgot the name of the beat, but I just remember listening to it, and it just came to me the way how I started speaking. I was just like, you just threw your man to the left. He yelling so loud he went deaf. His bad wasn't good for your health. You couldn't take the pain he dealt. You trying to find strength in yourself. So like from that, I just built on top of it. And it was just, I was thinking about a situation where, a woman didn't want to be with her man. Like it was just going, like I was thinking about a relationship just going sour, going toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And, the girl left her man, and there's this guy who she's talking to, and it's like she just left her man because she want to, come talk to this other guy, because this other guy is actually, providing whatever she needs. And her man, he don't know how to act. He's acting weird. He's treating her bad. He's doing her dirty, and she don't want to deal with that anymore. So she left to be with something better.
Mm-hmm. And then Be Honest.
Be Honest, the only bonus track is Back in This Bit, featuring Mia the Don, because that's just a different version of track 2.
Okay.
So they're not necessarily like bonus, they're just like where the storyline ends for as like the titles.
Okay.
So Be Honest, that's actually the first song out of those music productions that I heard back in 2017, that I was like, yo, I'm putting that song on this album. Like that song is going on this album. And that was the title of the beat.
Mm-hmm.
There are 2 beats that I heard simultaneously from these producers. And these 3 tracks are all produced by the same producer. Stack It Up, Be Honest, and the song off of my album Venting called The Best of Me.
Mm-hmm.
I heard all 3 of those tracks at the same time, like all in the same day. And I chose those 3 tracks to, be on my projects. And when I heard Be Honest, well, like I said, that was the first one that I actually heard from these producers, and it just stuck with me. And the chorus that you hear my featured artist singing, Lali Mariah, that's the chorus. Those are the words that just came to my mind. Like, all you gotta do is never lie, keep it real, be honest, be honest. All you gotta do is be honest, never lie, keep it real, be honest, be honest, be honest. So when I heard that song, that's the first thing that came to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately, just the words just start coming to me. The verses just started coming to me. And I'm like, yo, this is a dope song. This is really, really dope. I need this song on my album.
Mm-hmm.
The concept was just like, you don't want to deal with somebody who's actually not being genuine with you. Like we
Mm-hmm.
all been in a relationship where we dealt with somebody who's not keeping it real, keeping it 100, being honest with us. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what the main thing, focus of the song is, be honest. Especially like if y'all not even in the talking stage yet, just keep it real on what you want to be. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if you don't want to be in a relationship with me, let me know. Be honest. If you do want to be in a relationship with me, let me know. Be honest. Communicate. Communication is the key to everything. My
Mm-hmm.
dad always tell me that. My mom. So, um, so yeah, that's where the core of be honest actually came from.
Wow, man.
And in a second, well, for the first half of the verse, I'm talking about, how much of a, good person that I am and stuff like that. And then the second half of the second verse, I say plot twist. And then I'll turn it around saying, like, you didn't keep her, the woman didn't keep it real. So she's missing out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why on the second verse, I say, oh my, look at the time. You came around late. See the close signs. I ain't open for your business. My life good on 2 cents. I told you we could split it. 60-50, 110 it, but you only put the 10 in. Damn, girl, that's how you feeling? So it's like, I'm saying
Dang.
that I kept it 100. We agreed to 60-50, but I kept it 100. She only put the 10 in. So
Mm-hmm.
she only put in 10% while I
10%.
was keeping it 100 the whole entire time.
Mm-hmm. I really like the breakdown of just like
Yeah.
your lyrics on here. And just how like even like you said, the title of the songs like is the story itself, like the storyline, because you already know me. I like them storyline albums and stuff.
Mhm.
And this is definitely a really good one. Like anybody out there that loves storyline albums, I would definitely say like check out JaChamp Project Zero, man, because it is awesome. And it has good variety. That's the first thing that really hit me when I listened to it was like the variety. Like it's a song a little bit for everybody. Like you got your party people, type of people that would like to listen to, the party songs, and you got songs that are more like intimate setting type songs, and you got other songs that are like on some deep
Mhm.
stuff as well, which I love, like more of that conscious type of rap. So you have a little bit for everybody, and that's what I like as well.
Thank you. I really do appreciate that. And a lot of people can't, dive in that deep and really see and hear and understand the the breakdown of it, the
Mm-hmm.
messages that are, hidden deep inside of the songs. And some of it is not even hidden, it's right there in the face and people still can't appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just like we said before, even off camera, off the interviews, we say, sometimes people are just not on the same wavelength as others. So
Mm-mm.
they may not have reached that point in their life to where they may understand it. Like I said earlier, it can be, it's like that song that you skip, but then you come back to it, you're like, whoa, it's really deep. It's like, this is really deep.
Mm-hmm. Because everybody
And
got different points of
that's
growth
my
in
hope.
life.
Right. And that's why the first words that you ever hear me say on the album is, I've been down, going back down.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I've gotten this from you, I've gotten this from my feature artist, the feature artist that's on Lifted,
Mm-hmm.
B is the Future, my pops, and a whole lot of other people. They say, yo, that Resurrector, bro, that song is in bars. Like, he texted me, he told me, like, bro, you went off on this song. Like, why did you do this?
Right.
Like, where did that come from?
Like I wasn't even
Like, where did
expecting
that
it,
come
like
from?
compared to listening to like your older music, because man, we've been knowing each other since like 2017. And like listening to
Mm-hmm.
that, like I think the very first song I ever heard from you was Spacious. So listening to like from
Yeah.
Spacious and with Nightmare, all that to like this, like Resurrector and Lifted and Stack It Up, I'm like, whoa, like I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
expecting it.
Yeah. My dad tell me all the time, like, even when we be riding, sometimes he be like, man, son, put on that Resurrector for me. Put on that Resurrector. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
all right, pops. Even sometimes I don't even sometimes like I didn't listen to the song for so long. I don't even want to hear it right now. I just want to hear something else. I want to hear
Mm-hmm.
some new beats, or I want to hear something else. I want to hear some old school when we ride. He like, nah, put on that Resurrector. That goes back to the conversation to the topic that we was having earlier when you said that I inspired you to, go back and grab some of your old beats that you used to have to put on your new project. It's like those songs are productions, they're old to us, but they're new to our listener.
Exactly.
That's one thing that I learned in some of my teachers, like I said, in college and stuff like that, and just things that I learned from other artists, like even watching famous artists, celebrities, interviews and stuff like that. The song is old to us, but new to our listener. So by the time our listener hears it, we've been past it. Like we've been past these tracks. Like it's just getting to y'all. Like we don't even want to hear them no more by the time they come out. It's like, bro, I'm done with this. But I really don't even feel this way no more. I don't even fuck with this song like I used to.
Right. So you just want to move on to something new now. You already working on new stuff. You're like, y'all focus on that while I'm like trying to get some new stuff together, And you have more than enough tracks for people to focus on while you're working on new stuff.
Exactly. That's why it's always, that's why it's mandatory for artists to have a team behind them, because while our mind is already on to the next project, while we have this project out, we're not really, independent. A lot of independent artists or artists that's doing things on their own. We're really not even focusing on, like promotion or stuff like that for this project, because our mind has been off that project for so long. It's like we're not even, putting all the energy into it because we're ready to move on to the next thing. And that's where I feel like, even what I've lacked in discipline on staying focused on, one project and stuff like that, like posting it one time here and there or once every week. No, keep flooding it out to the people, keep flooding it to the people so people can actually hear what you're working with. Because it's like, no, people tell me all the time, like, yo, you need to, this album is really that shit. Like, it's really the one. It's the one.
It is.
I think
this can definitely get you far because it's so well produced, and like lyricism is on point too. But all I do know is that Lifted and Stack It Up and Resurrector, those were like my top three favorite ones on there. Those ones, like I literally played it on repeat.
I appreciate that. I know this interview can go for hours. I know it can go for long because it's even more like underneath the surface from what we didn't already discuss within this hour of the interview. And I know it's like a whole lot more we could talk about, but we'll save that for the next interview that we do.
Oh yeah.
You have any more questions for me?
I just got one more question. Are there any new projects you're working on?
I'd say yes. There is a new project that I'm working on. And just like we was just talking about, like my head is like already like kind of going off of zero, but I'm still trying to stay focused on zero. I'm still staying focused on zero while working on this project. And the tracks that are on this next project is songs that didn't make zero. These are songs that I wanted to be on zero, but it didn't make it. And even with those songs, because it was actually a bigger storyline than what I've told you, because there were more tracks that were supposed to be on this project. I had at least, I want to say, it was going to be like a 20-track album, just like my last album, Venting, I had 20 tracks on it. But I actually, like, I was just getting in a mindset where it's like, yo, I want to get these other songs out. And then one of my microphones had broke, so I couldn't record the lyrics to those songs like I wanted to. So it was just like, okay, I'm going to use what I have and, go ahead on and push that out. But I ended up going to a different studio and I perfected the ones that you hear now that are out on the album, instead of trying to force the other songs within that time limit that I had. So these songs some of these songs, not all of them, but some of these songs that's going to be on my next project are the ones that did not make zero. And it's some new tracks as well. It's not just all, old beats and stuff like that. We coming with some heat on the next one. Trust me, if people thought that this was heat, wait till they hear the next one.
Man.
I'm just gonna always say that with every project that I come with, because till this day, I still feel like Venting is like my best project. But every time I hear Zero, I'm like, yo, they battling. This is like they going back and forth, like for as like in my head, like which one I like more. Like they're going back and forth. It's like Big and Pac in my head, like fighting right now.
Dang, man. I know the feeling, man. It's hard to make a decision, but man, I'm looking forward to this next project too.
Mm-hmm. Do I want to say the title of it right now? I said, but nah, I ain't gonna say it right now. Later. I ain't gonna say it right now. Just know I'm gonna be on vacation.
Okay. Paradise. Okay. Is that like a little Easter egg or something?
Yeah, it's a little, wink, wink, notch, notch, that type of stuff.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it though. And also I really like your merch that you're wearing, that hoodie. Like we were talking about earlier, that hoodie got the same, it's from this album right here, from his album, from the CD cover. Guys, make sure to go and buy the CD.
Appreciate it. All of my merch can be purchased at JaCPstore.com. Once again, that's JaCPstore.com. That is my clothing line. You can purchase this hoodie titled Zero hoodie. I have many different collections. I have designs and stuff from my past albums on there, and I have Zero merchandise. So I have hoodies, shoes, sweatshirts with this design on it. All designs on my website are created by me and me only. Eventually, we will step out and work with other people to broaden my brand. But for right now, go support your boy JaChamp. Zero is out right now on all streaming platforms. Y'all can follow my social media at JaChamp, JaChamp78 on Instagram, Twitter, all other social media platforms. My name's JaChamp. I appreciate you having this interview with me and this sit down. It's been a great time, and it's mandatory that we do it again.
Yes, sir.